Veritasyrup. I don't know how you're gonna feel about me at the end of this video, but I wasn't a big reader growing up. So I'm glad you've had the intro time to calm down after your initial reaction in anger to what I said. But hear me out and let me explain, guys. As someone who's now diagnosed as having ADD, I definitely didn't have the attention span that other kids had when I was growing up. And because of that, I easily got bored when trying to read books. A book had to really hook me in order to interest me, and if it didn't do so in like the first chapter or two, I was done. And it's actually really upsetting because it took me a lot longer than everyone else to read all through Harry Potter and everything. So I'm here today to recount the books that actually were able to catch my attention and made an impact on my life. Or at least stuck with me. No, I really hated assigned readings in school until I was given The Giver in like 6th or something grade. The Giver was my first experience with like a dystopian future, and it got me really excited because it was an entirely new idea to me. I had never heard of anything like it before. I love how descriptive it was with the character's perspective on how he experienced his colorless world and how it suddenly became more live-like the more memories he had and the more perspectives he had. It's kind of like a metaphor for life. The more you learn from others, the more you know about, you know, life in general, and I thought that was really cool. Now, a lot of people hate this book, and I understand why. It does take a bit to get into it, and it is a bit pretentious, but at the time, I didn't really think about that. I just thought about how cool an idea it was. I also really enjoyed A Wrinkle in Time. This is one of my first introductions to, like, quantum physics, and I was really young at the time, so it kind of blew my mind. What especially stuck out to me is the scene where the main characters are in a chamber of with alien-like creatures, and these creatures don't have the ability to see. And the main characters have to describe what light is to them. And it just kind of blew my mind that something so simple could be so hard to describe. And because of that book, I started challenging myself to define words like color and sound and the. Not exactly an easy task for a middle schooler. I also really enjoyed this one book called Things Unseen. It's about a kid who has an electrically charged blanket and uses it to accidentally turn invisible, and then he meets up with a blind girl and they have misadventures, and it's really cool. I think it really appealed to me at the time because I was super nervous and I just wanted to disappear and I wanted to know what it was like to be invisible, so this book shed some light on that. No pun intended. Once I was in 8th grade, there was a book that I can't remember the title of, but it was something to the effect of like 21 dates in a week or something like that, where like a guy is trying to find a date to the prom and he doesn't know how to do so, so he just goes out with as many girls as possible with the help of his friends, and he ends up dating one of his female friends, and it's a big confusing ball of fun, and it was really cool because at the time I didn't have much experience with dating and I wanted to know what it was kind of like so I could know what I was potentially getting into if at some point girls decided to start liking me. And although it's really cheesy and overdone, a lot of the situations are actually pretty realistic. And the main thing that book taught me is that it's not how many girls you get, it's the quality of girl that you find that actually likes you and you like her and it's a perfect match and that whole sort of thing. It was a big deal. It was a big deal back then. You know, in a world where all these rap stars are going around talking about how they get all their biddies on. So now that I'm in college, my book collection is pretty dismal. It's mostly John Green. Oh, you guys want to see it? These are my books. This is my makeshift tripod. And that's my mail-in voter ballot, which I will use to vote for the president. So most of the books I've read recently have been like John Green books, and I haven't ventured out to do other things because I've been too focused with like videos, and it's kind of upsetting. I kind of want to get back into books. So if you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to learn and read and gain knowledge so I can make it into already here. Alright, Veritasyrup, I think I've talked to my camera enough today. I'll see you Alexa tomorrow.